I don't think New Year's resolutions are good. They're always like outlandish things that when you don't complete, you like feel worse about.
Right.
Yeah.
You should set tiny, small goals throughout the year and eat tiny, small meals throughout the day and do tiny, small activities. Tiny, small things and only
tiny, small
things.
lives. And
Yeah.
So not tiny, small people.
Wow.
I'm trying to fix that with my New Year's resolution. God, Ricky, you have to rub it in.
it should be something like you can like there should be like levels you unlock or something. Because the whole problem with the New Year's resolution is you break it, it's done, right? It's like it's like a glow stick. It's like you snap. Well, wait, glow sticks start working when you break them. It's like a piece of ice, which stops being cold after you break it.
Wow.
It's not really like that's like a false idea, but
Okay,
it
but
is very
Ian's
appealing.
New Year's resolution has better analogies. Go find them.
Soon they're gonna be good. They're gonna be good like 2 cans. It's gonna be great.
I feel like half of my New Year's resolutions are like stop sinning.
Stop sitting.
Like with Lent, I always find out like what am I going to give up for Lent? Sinning.
I really thought you were
Jesus
talking
would
about,
really like that one.
I thought you were talking like pocket string was your sin.
Isn't that that's for, oh wait, you just said Lent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like my New Year's resolutions and Lenten observations are often similar, and
Okay.
they
You
last
get
for about
second
2
chance
You
at
get
days.
to
New
wait
Year's
till like
resolution.
summer
That's
for
right.
Lent.
That's right.
I kind of like
Just wait for summer to disappoint yourself for Lent.
my
Don't bother with New Year's.
my New Year's resolution is always like, hey you, yeah, just stop that. You know what it is. Just stop.
That's
Just-
my everyday resolution.
Right. Every day is a new year.
There you go.
Every day is
That would just destroy Ricky's life because it's his least favorite holiday.
Coming soon, the wonderfulest life.
I think-
where instead of
I think, Ricky, you
day's
should
a
try
new year.
Ian's advice and invite more beans into your holidays.
I mean, I always have the black-eyed peas on New Year's Day.
when you say the black eyed peas, I feel like there's an implication.
There is.
And I was going to check and see how long we got before we made this implication, and it was 3 minutes and 30 seconds,
Where
which is about the length of one black eyed pea if it's a really big black eyed pea.
Sure.
Will I Am and Fergie are always welcome in my house come January 1st.
Is there a third one?
Man, I don't want to offend him by getting the name wrong.
Well, you already told him he can't come to your house, so it's not like
All of the black-eyed peas may come to my house, and we'll all spend the whole day, January 1st, looking for the love. Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll find it. Maybe we won't. The verdict is still out on that.
Can you,
All I'm saying is they need to meet me halfway on this, though.
can you pre-look for the love? Like, just have like a general idea where you left it?
I have a general idea. Yes, exactly.
I haven't thought about New Year's resolution. That's like that. You think about that on New Year's Eve, right? And you enjoy
New Year's
all the
Eve
rest
is
of
a
the
terrible
days.
idea to think about anything because you're like 5 drinks in and an angry Monopoly fight away from breaking all of your
All right,
resolutions.
okay, so
you play
like,
Monopoly on New Year's.
I know you had some weird
dork.
Christmas traditions, but if your New Year's Monopoly tradition is to ruin the family dynamic immediately, you should
No
just try
wonder.
like not doing that.
I mean, it's like it's Monopoly for the kids, and then the adults get to play 45s, which is the world's most complicated card game. And when you're also drinking, it just gets worse.
You
Does
know,
anyone still drink anymore?
Not me.
Nobody drinks anymore. We all have migraines and anxiety.
I don't.
I'll drink all your
Okay.
drinks. It just doesn't do
Stop
anything to me.
bragging, Ricky. What'd you say?
I
Oh, yeah,
drink, it
you-
just doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
to
it
me.
does nothing. Yeah.
So I might as
Yeah.
well just drink something that tastes better.
Gannon.
Cannon, buddy. Right now?
Yes, right now.
No, right now.
Beep beep. I'm Gannon.
Yeah.
Wow. Well
that was
done.
actually the voice of actual Gannon. You've been
Yes,
waiting
it
for a while on
was. Oh my gosh.
the debut.
After I got a bird, literally every animal beeps in my mind. Like
Well, Pippa actually sounds like a truck backing up, though.
This is the
Yeah.
this is our Gannon moment brought to you by Purina Dog Chow.
No, we're not sponsored.
crunch,
Although
crunch,
if you
crunch,
want-
crunch. It's Purina.
We also don't use Purina.
Wow. You
So-
must hate
Do we not?
Gannon.
Surprise crunch.
We use fancy food.
Is
Is it
that a
called
brand
fancy
name
food?
or?
No,
It's like the
called,
cat fancy
Did you?
feast.
Okay,
It's
so
called Bella.
I'm sure every podcast has this
Bella.
moment because it's got to be like the most repeated podcast fact ever. You know, the USDA has specific technical definitions of what makes ketchup constitute fancy ketchup.
What's
I
fancy?
did
bring
not
that
know
up?
this.
It's like on the little packets, like KFC or whatever. It'll say fancy ketchup on it.
Yes.
It has to meet a certain standard to be fancy ketchup. Otherwise, it's just ketchup.
Why do you
Of
call
course
it
it does.
ketchup?
Just
What?
It's just
Ketchup.
Ketchup.
Everything that's
Ketchup.
named anything.
K-E-chup.
Ketchup.
ketchup.
You say ketchup.
I probably because I think I had one parent who said ketchup and I had one parent who said ketchup. So
They're both
They
wrong.
both said it wrong.
and so
Ketchup.
I'm just a perfect combination of their terrible mistakes.
It's actually, this is a big controversy between my mom and I of what color the ketchup bottle is. Because she
red.
thinks it's an orangey color.
Oh,
and I think it's a reddish color.
So I will solve
It's
this for you.
carmine.
Red is an orangey color.
no.
Orange is a reddy color.
Either one works. Either one works. You're both win.
No, every
I-
color deserves its right to exist.
Have you
Individually.
seen Pierce? I haven't.
Is there an
I
orange
have.
condiment?
Buffalo sauce, baby.
Do you know how you make
Hey.
buffalo sauce?
Ew.
Yeah.
It's this easy. It's just you take a pepper-based sauce like sriracha, and you take an equal amount of butter, and you melt them.
Okay,
That's
so
it.
one, that's not hot sauce. That's not buffalo sauce.
It
You
is.
cannot make buffalo sauce with sriracha, but you just have to make it with hot sauce. Like just
Okay,
like a
sorry. Sriracha was the one red hot sauce I had in my house at the
That's
time.
fair.
But you're right. It's
You're
better
right.
to have something like, you know.
Actually,
Frank's.
though,
Frank's.
sriracha and butter sounds like an amazing sauce
Yeah,
for
it's
their wings.
buffalo.
It's not.
It's buffalo-ish.
It's buffalo-ish. I'll allow it. I'll allow buffalo-ish.
Sriracha better than Tabasco?
Yes.
I
Yes.
can't hear
Why are
you.
you
You
asking
sound like
that?
you sound
Is
like you asked that
sriracha-
from down
is
the street.
Sriracha better than Tabasco?
Tabasco's like, hey, what if my food tasted more like a cigarette I just put out?
That's a good
Wow.
description.
That is an awful description of Tabasco.
I stand by it.
I will argue,
It's been a
though.
while since I've had Tabasco.
I will
feel-
also argue, though, that the Chipotle flavored Tabasco that I'm sure they sell at regular stores, but I've only ever seen at Chipotle restaurants, is amazing.
Well, see,
Awesome.
this,
Wow,
going
thank
back
you.
to this argument that shows up every once in a while, is it when you become better by
Thank you for this
being less like
intriguing
your original?
opinion.
Like, if the best way to be a Tabasco sauce is to be more like a different sauce, there's a problem.
It's Chipotle's not really a sauce, is it?
I watched a
It's a
documentary on Tabasco recently.
Why? Of course there is. Ever since the Sriracha documentary, everybody's got like. Did you ever see?
No, these are important actually. Have you guys seen the Bon Appetit pastry chef makes something fancy?
Yeah.
Or makes gourmet like Twinkies and Skittles and stuff. She specifically looks up like how you make things before she makes them. So they need Tabasco documentaries so that she can go look them up.
Are
and
you talking
figure out
about
how to
like
make gourmet Tabasco?
the test kitchen place that
Claire.
like, tries to remake like
Yeah.
I
garbage
actually-
snack foods like
I-
Dorito?
Yeah.
I found that show, that specific series, has gotten way more stressful as it went. Like the first 10 were great. They're like 20-ish minutes, and they're like, well, we could stretch this out to an hour. And it's just Claire just like, I know I can do it. I just know I can. And then she's like, I'm gonna quit, but then I'm not. And it's just like there's no moment of rest in her poor tiny brain.
Yeah.
Like,
Except
No.
when she made Pop-Tarts.
and it just goes on for 45 minutes, and then she's like, this is pretty good, and that's it.
yeah.
I mean, I watched her like spend 30 minutes to make a singular Dorito.
Did she make Doritos?
She did.
She's done Doritos.
That was like her
Doritos-
first thing she
Doritos are
made or
pretty early on.
something.
It's like
Hmm.
now that she's gotten to the weird stuff, it's like, okay, now I just need to make something that's clearly actually just like a chemical byproduct paste that they put some
Slim
sugar on.
Jims.
I think
I wanna see
they
that.
let the audience vote, like the commenters.
Well,
I
let's
think they
vote
let
for
them.
Slim Jims because that is not a like.
It's real easy. You take a fat Jim and you just put him on a treadmill and you just tell him like,
Oh.
man,
Clever.
listen, you're worth more than this.
I know
You
that
mean
the
Fat James.
I know that the goal of the show is to make it as similar to the original as possible, but the title is to make it gourmet, and I'm pretty sure gourmet Slim Jim is just meat.
No, okay, so here's the trick about gourmet. Gourmet
just
just
me.
means butter. That's
Oh my
almost
God.
positive there's-
True.
I'm almost positive like a Slim Jim is just a casing filled with spices and chemicals. I don't think there's any meat involved.
it's just like a stim pack,
There's
just like a
some
fallout.
meat somewhere.
It's probably
Okay,
like chicken ankles.
For as expensive as they are,
talking about amazing channels, have you guys seen Jubilee, the channel?
no.
So they have three really good series basically, and I don't remember the name of them, but the first one, oh yeah, okay, so the first one is Do All Blank Think the Same? And so they get a group of people and they put them in a room and they ask them questions and they have like the disagree to agree line or strongly disagree to strongly agree line. And so it's like 7 people and they ask them something. So like the last one they did that I didn't get to watch was Do All Asian Parents Think the Same? And then they just ask them
course.
questions and then they have them line up and it's really interesting. They did one on transgender people and they did one on drag queens and they did, I don't know, they do a bunch of them and that's one of their series and it's super, super good. They also do another one called, I don't know, but they get 3 people from each side of an argument and they sit them down, they ask them questions. It's really interesting to see what they agree and don't agree on. But it's all really well done and super polite and solid cinematography. And it's pretty good.
Yeah,
I've
I like
seen
this.
this a
I like
couple
to
times.
watch those.
Those are
I,
really good.
I have some academic issues with it a little bit. Like, if you're taking 7 sets of Asian parents
Mm-hmm.
out of the multiple billions of Asians on the planet, and you're testing their opinions on very specific things,
Mm-hmm.
you already have an answer. and you've probably selected your couples to reflect the data you're looking for.
Right. I mean, the,
'Cause if
the
you just-
selection process must be very.
What do you think they're looking for?
Looking for
A good story.
Is homosexuality commonly accepted in Asia? The answer is no. So you want one parent who does, so they can disagree and make it an interesting video. Because if everybody just said, "Nah, we don't really do that," then it's like it's done, right?
Oh, I think the point is to not have a narrative. Like that's the whole point of the channel.
But how do you just pick? I mean, in that case, your sample size is.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're only going to pick. Well,
There's
so yeah,
always
the
a
sample
narrative.
size. The sample size is an element of it because it's one, it's only going to be 7 Asian parents, and two, it's only going to be the people that would bother applying to the channel anyway.
Right. So I mean,
But that's not. But the point isn't if it's accurate. The point is how people from all different parts of the world that fall under one category and what they have to say about one question. So
Well,
like,
but it's- so
We
I
already
guess
have
my-
that once a year here in America. It's called the election.
It's not once a year, but it feels like it. I feel like
they're
I
not
don't know.
trying to be statistically correct.
Well, then it's just kind of like, what do 7 people think about this thing? And the
Yeah.
and the demographic name of the friend is.
But that's what makes it interesting because they
Right.
asked them. I think what the channel does really good is it draws attention to stereotypes, and then by the end of it, usually ends up diverting away from it, which is really interesting because it.
That's the narrative.
Yeah.
Well,
there
yeah,
you
but
go.
that's it's not. I don't think
Not
it's the
saying that
narrative,
It's wrong. Like it's
It's- I
probably
think
fine.
it's
probably
interesting.
but they
entertaining.
don't encourage it. It's
I
just
think
what
they do.
happens. They
I
don't.
think if they're picking 7 random people or something, and they're looking for somebody to diverge from a popular consensus, they have to pick somebody on it.
But they're
to do
not
it.
looking for that because what's interesting, what makes the channel great is because sometimes they all do end up falling into the stereotype, and then other times they all don't fall into a stereotype. Like drag queens, most of them thought the same on almost every single topic. And then for things like they did one with ex-criminals, and they varied differently on like everything. Ex-felons.
It's possible that it's because there's like 16 drag queens in the world and 16 million ex-felons.
Yeah, no, that's a good point though.
I guess I don't have any. You're right. There's no statistical problem with it. I'm not making any nothing it said interested me.
Right. I
At
mean,
least
you're
it's
not interested in
the
that sort of thing.
social experiment channels.
It is. It's totally a social. Well,
We
I mean,
left $100 on the floor.
Oh my
You'll
God,
never
let's not
believe
talk
what
about
this.
those.
Oh wait, they do
I
have.
hate those so
They
much.
do have one like that though. They put 7 people in a room, and 6 of them are one thing, and 1 of them isn't, and they have to guess which one is the liar. And so the very first one they did is they did who isn't the Beyonce fan. And so
Oh
they
my
put 6
God.
people in the room that were major Beyonce fans and 1 person that wasn't. And their goal is to vote that person out. And if they do, they all get to split $100. And if they don't, then the person who makes it to the last round or whatever gets the $100. And so they did one. So they did the Beyonce one, which is like fine, but I don't care about Beyonce that much. But
It's
it
you.
was
You-
funny.
Give me money.
There's
It was great because like Beyonce fans are nuts. But so they did one where it was can they guess the gay man? And so it was
Right.
it was
This
6
is where this premise was
where
obviously
yeah.
going. Like this is.
Yeah, that's
there
what I
was
figured.
so there was well they do it for all different kinds of them, but they did that one and then they did one and then every single comment was like you have to do this the other way around. They also did one if you could guess the black person, but everybody was blindfolded.
Yep. There's a much better.
They did
game
not
show
guess the
that I
black
enjoy.
person.
I don't remember the name of it, but it was on Netflix, and the game show is 12 hours before you go onto the game show. You are taken to a room with the other contestants, where there's $1 million in quarters in the center of the room, and you have to take them and count them and roll them and put them into this like your own personal bin. And all the money that gets counted in the 12 hours is the money that you're playing for in the game.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
I believe.
And
I would literally
first,
collect no money.
the very first thing they do is they eliminate the person who counted the least amount of money.
Right.
And so at the beginning they ask you how much you counted.
Yeah.
And you tell them how much you counted. But it's very hard to keep track of.
Uh-huh.
There aren't actual rolls. You're literally just counting and putting it in bags.
Oh.
So can you lie?
Huh? You say whatever you want. You're trying to get as close to your actual amount as possible.
I mean,
Oh my
just-
God, this
all you
is
have to
a
do wait,
weird
right?
game show
So
idea.
here's what I think. If I would pay the amount of money I could make it this time to not have to do this.
Yeah, I hate this.
So they're all like sitting there just like counting quarters for
That sounds-
12 hours straight. Because if you lag behind, you could be the person that counted the fewest, and you're kicked off the show immediately. And then you have to keep track of how many quarters you counted.
As someone
in
who
one
was a-
episode, a guy has a panic attack in the counting room and quits
Of course,
And
that's where
then-
you would have the panic attack.
And then another
much
person,
panic space.
also in the counting room, watches him have a panic attack and goes, "My chest hurts." And paramedics take him out on a stretcher from
Yes.
counting quarters. And
Yes.
they don't even eliminate anybody in the first 2 rounds of that episode.
You just get a bye to the.
Yeah, you just get a bye. 'Cause
So, I mean, I
people
think-
didn't make it through counting for 12 hours.
This is one of those. The best way to do this is you deny the premise, right? I'm not going to count quarters. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set up like a very simple like lever system with my 2 shoes, and I'm going to weigh out quarters. I can count one set of like 50 quarters, and then just bulk count by 50s.
Yeah.
Well, you can.
I actually have experience in this. I was a bank teller for a year, and
Yeah.
this is
Were?
the worst
You
idea
just,
I've ever
you
heard.
just count how many quarters fit in your shoe, and then just scoop, and just keep track of the number of scoops.
But at some point in your life, you would have had to count how many quarters fit in your shoe.
Right, but you don't have to do it once, and then you just multiply.
What point in your life was that?
You were
Allison?
just saying you have to know how much it is to
Did
fill your shoe up.
They can let you take your shoe into the room, right? You can just do it once, and then
Yeah.
get
I
your
think
metric
you could
there.
set up
Oh,
a
sure.
grid. That'd be easier.
Or like you just this is like the
You have
jelly
a
bean jar
desk.
thing, right? You just like learn how big one
Yeah,
quarter
perfect.
is. You stack it up, then you just do it visually. and You start multiplying.
right.
Yeah.
What if
Right.
you just don't?
What if you just used like debit cards, guys?
Okay, and the more important question is, how can I make my students do this in a justifiable manner?
And then
What is the,
And then
it
once
depends
you
on what
get-
you're trying to teach them.
does not.
Well, I mean,
Into
maybe
the game
counting in
show.
Latin, but I think it would just be funny to watch. So
all of
I
the-
know my teachers have used that excuse on me.
all of the games that start eliminating people, right?
Yeah.
Are all games of like a lot of memory and a lot of like bright lights and loud noises because
Right.
people didn't sleep for the last 12 hours.
Oh,
so horrible.
Because
just
they
like
do
it's-
it overnight.
This seems like it's a slightly worse version of there's a G4 show forever ago, like
Cram.
Cram.
Cram is where you were put in the room with all the worthless knowledge, but you could sleep if you wanted to. You just
Yeah.
wouldn't know any of the stuff that's in the books that you're going to get tested
is
on.
this just not like college?
Yeah, but
I didn't take the counting quarters all night class in
people
college.
will
Is
watch
that
you fail
Cram?
on national television on Cram. That's the difference.
Oh,
My
sure.
shame stayed secret.
Wow.
Cram, the funniest thing about Cram was like the last round of Cram, like the bonus round where you earn like all the money if you've already won. Like they do it like with dim lighting and like you're in a like bed, like all tucked in. And like the guy like quietly asks you questions
There was,
to like see if you fall asleep.
I don't know if this was a game show. Actually, I don't really know what it was, but I've seen
It
it.
was Dog the Bounty Hunter.
There was one thing where they would put people in a room that was entirely pitch black so that you could not see anything. And then they would make you do challenges. And the challenges consisted of like walking across something or putting your hand in something. But because it was pitch black, it was all just like a weird mental game. And so they had somebody walk across like a balance beam, but it was on the ground.
Yeah.
But they didn't know what the consequence of falling off of it was, so they would
Right.
freak out and panic. And so like they just, and it was different things, like you would have to touch something, but it'd be a teddy bear, but because you're so in your head about it, and so like you had to complete like a series of like very small challenges, and so many people just couldn't do it. Actually, some people would just like reach to the room and it was pitch black and they would just bail. They were just out of there.
There was a short-lived show that was this weird karaoke, like it was this weird like America's Got Talent meets Fear Factor,
Yeah.
where you were trying to sing karaoke while like you're having to like put your hand in strange boxes that have like spiders in them or something.
That
you
sounds
know?
great.
And it's just, like, these people are just like trying to sing Before He Cheats by Carrie Underwood.
Oh my god! Oh,
And then reaching hands and like it's like, what's in the box? It's tarantulas.
I mean,
and then they freak out and it's like, don't stop singing or you lose. And that's
like-
wonderful.
That's a thing.
I didn't need this. Like, I'm not good at either of these things.
Okay, wait.
It's like if you put me on expert difficulty, I don't need a nightmare difficulty where I also have to sing.
Okay, but what is the game show you would go on?
Like, can I pick any game show?
Yeah, any game show.
Jeopardy is the best game show. It's objective.
I think
Oh, sure. I would not go on Jeopardy because I would not do well.
no. Jeopardy was broken recently.
Not well.
Jeopardy
Vanna
was
White's the new host.
entirely
It wasn't broken. It was not. I've read these mathematical analyses. I only do this for things that I don't.
The,
know
the
math
game was broken. The meta was broken.
I'll talk about Vanna
Yeah,
White
well, I
later.
mean, he found a betting strategy that worked, but it wouldn't work for everybody.
Vanna White is the new host of
I mean,
Wheel of
the thing
Fortune.
is about why Jeopardy is great is they intentionally write it so that everybody feels like they're smart. Like if the
That's not true. I've watched Jeopardy at home. I do not feel smart watching Jeopardy.
But don't you get some of the clues sometimes?
No.
Well then, I have some
That's
bad
true.
news for you.
I think you haven't watched much Jeopardy.
Like, there's,
That's true. I haven't watched a lot of Jeopardy
when they,
because it makes
like,
me feel stupid.
They do this thing where it's like the thing that is most associated with the clue is 80% of the time the answer. So like
Yeah.
if they ask about like an architect, it's gonna be the one who's not the playwright. Oh,
Frank Lloyd Wright.
Frank, that guy, Frank Lloyd Wright. Or if they ask about I don't know, like a physicist, it's Hawking. It's like it's whoever your brain like kind of clicks to first. A bunch of the clues are just that, and it's really really pleasing feeling.
Yeah, I don't know who the architect is.
I would go on. Don't forget the lyrics with Wayne
Oh
Brady.
yeah!
Oh,
wow, that was
that's
a
like the
great
game show for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
That's a good
sure
game show for
is.
you.
I would also go on that show, even if I was as
You-
good at singing as I am right now.
You don't have to be good at singing to
Because
be on
then
that
I'm
show.
on a game show with Wayne Brady. And,
Exactly.
like, what else do I
Yeah,
need?
no,
There's
that's a
only
really good
upside.
point.
Like I'm good at the game. The host is awesome. Like if you watch it, everybody's always having a great time, and there's
the
decent money
cocaine.
on it too. Yeah. it's-
Why does that show feel like a game show from the BoJack Horseman universe?
Oh no.
Here's a question: does Judge Judy count as a game show? Because I think it should.
Oh my god,
You get
I
paid
would
to
never
go
go
on
on Judge Judy.
Like, it's a great deal. Your case is settled. They pay both of you. You get a 3-day vacation to LA. You don't have to do anything. They feed you, and then
I'm
you're on
gonna
TV.
take your avocados, old man.
Judge Judy.
Judge Judy.
Judge
That
Judy
was a
is
Judge
such
Judy where a guy was like stealing avocados from an avocado
Tree.
tree
Yeah.
from the next door neighbor.
Yeah.
And it was just like, what would make you do this? Guacamole.
This is the great thing. Like, if you do it right, you can like just like go in and rehearse with your case partner the day before. Like, 'cause at this point, neither of you care, right? It's already settled out
Yeah.
of court.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so it's kind of so Judge Judy isn't a judge.
She was though for 20 years.
No, she wasn't.
She was. She handled the marital family affairs.
I don't
And
think she was a judge. She was like a mediator.
Those are literally
That
the
is a
same word.
judge.
No, they're not. They're different.
I'll
They're
look it up. I'll look
okay. Look it up. Look it up.
Look it
I'm
up,
pretty
look it
sure
up.
she wasn't a judge.
All right, what was your answer? You didn't give an answer yet.
Well, I was still thinking because I couldn't think of a good
Rachel, what
good
game show would you go on?
I don't know a lot of game shows.
That body painting game show, I'd be bomb at that.
Oh, no.
Body
That's a
painting
reality
game?
show.
Skin
but
Wars?
Okay, okay.
Wait,
No,
that's not
no,
a game show, but you're supposed to be
No,
good at it.
Skin
to
Wars
win.
has two variations. They have we follow the same people for a whole season version, and then they have the one episode is one competition version.
Okay.
And
I would
they're the
also-
weirdest people. All the
I would
time.
also go on Chopped. I would lose, but I really want to be on
Oh, I'd
Chopped.
probably
like
be good at
Chopped.
Chopped.
Huh?
I play that game every day in my pantry because I'm
That's what
poor. I'm so good at it though.
I can't think of any game shows. I'm just
Are you
blanking.
just gonna go on Who
I
Wants
didn't.
to Be
You'd
a
probably be
Millionaire?
pretty good at that body
Would
painting
not
one,
go on
too.
Who
Can you
Wants to Be a
handle it?
Millionaire. No, absolutely not.
Dude, that
Oh.
music is made.
I don't
to
know
make
any of
you
the
just, like,
answers.
go insane. I'm pretty sure.
I'm not actually
think
good at
about, like,
trivia.
the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire music. The like.
Let me look up game shows.
Yeah,
Wait, what
Judge
about,
Judy.
what about
Judge Judy presided over 20,000 cases as a family court judge.
Okay, great. Okay,
Boom.
what about that game show Idiot Test, Allison? I think you'd be good at that because it's
I don't
pointing
know
out
what that
simple
is.
errors. It's like they hand you a logic puzzle.
It's just like every single one is what's the
so-
trick question. There's always a trick.
It's like just constantly find the trick question.
I
Yeah.
haven't heard of it.
It's not
I don't know. I'm looking and I'm
It's
trying.
a horrible show, but I think that
You know what's
you
great?
like how you're
Actually,
like pretty logical, so maybe you'd be good at
I think I would do well at.
I haven't heard
The
of
Price is
most
Right.
of these.
The Price is Right is too much of a crapshoot because like if you get Plinko, then like you're golden. But like, what happens if you get Flip or Flop? That game
Oh.
is garbage.
You know, I don't know much about the show.
Oh,
I
I'd
just
go
know that
on
I'm supposed to guess.
Wipeout. I'd go on
You
Wipeout.
go on
I would go on Wipeout.
I would done Wipeout.
I would go on Wipeout so much.
Actually,
Maybe you'd be good at that.
The
yeah.
correct one
I
for
would
me
be
is probably,
terrible at it.
Wheel of Fortune. I think I'd do pretty good at Wheel of Fortune.
I would be terrible at
You'd be
Wipeout.
better
Fortune is
than
pretty
me
good
at
game.
it.
You got a low center of mass. You can like.
It doesn't matter. The point isn't to be good at Wipeout.
Yeah, the point
It's
is
going to
that
get
to
beat by a
die.
bunch of giant foam things and have a blast. And that's what I'm there for. Good entertainment for you guys. You're all welcome.
I want to see
Watch
you
me
make it
fall
to
on
the
live
Dizzy
TV.
round.
What to the what?
They're like second round where they strap everybody into that like super spinning wheel thing and have them run dizzy across the
Yes.
obstacle course.
I want to do all of them. Actually, my favorite one is when you're like on a platform and there's like a spinning thing and you have to like jump
Jump
all
it.
over it or
Yeah.
under it or like hold onto it for dear life. It's amazing. That's probably what I would go on. But Rachel, did you answer?
Yeah, she did. She said Skin Wars.
We should all go
Yeah.
on Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?
Oh my
no,
gosh.
I don't want to give that
That's
show
like
any
all
more.
trick questions too.
That's already gotten
I'd
more.
rather go on. I think Jeopardy would be good too. But not the. We only watched the Tournament of Champions, and I know like some of the questions on there.
I mean, I know. I
But
wouldn't
there's
be good at
sometimes
Jeopardy,
when I
but-
go like through the episode, I'm like, I would have won that, and then I would or not won it, but I would have like gotten some questions right. But I'm usually too nervous to answer in those type of settings.
I could sweep like the garbage categories, like Bible, and
Wow.
like.
What did you
Wow, that was.
No, no, no.
Wow, that's
No,
sentence.
like,
That's
not, okay,
I feel
all
hurt
right,
by
all right,
that.
all
you
right.
can't just say that out loud and then pause and be like,
Okay,
that was fine.
Like, I mean, that's not like a garbage category, but it's like an easy category,
sure.
and like the wordplay categories. I'm good at the wordplay.
What always gets me
categories.
about
I like
Jeopardy is like,
those.
name this one obscure lake that existed for 3 minutes in South Africa, and they do it.
Geography. I'm done. I don't know anything.
But these people like just they
I know
they,
America.
they just downloaded geography into their head. It's like
no, like it's like
That sounded like
What are we talking
satire.
it's
Jeopardy.
like geography,
Oh,
and
okay.
it's like this Eastern European. I'm like, is it France? Is it Germany?
God
I don't
damn-
know.
God damn,
I
Ricky.
don't know. If you want me to name a town, Paris. I am done. Like,
Yeah, Paris, the famous capital of Eastern Europe, the cultural capital of
Yeah.
Eastern Europe.
I don't know
I feel
geography
like
at all.
we're probably like stepping on a lot of weird political lines there that
Yeah,
none
this
of
is
us are
very.
educated enough to
It's
know.
very. This sounds like satire. We've crossed a line.
Okay, but
Okay.
I mean,
Anyway, but
but-
you sound like you're satirizing two different things, like the Bible garbage thing plus the wait.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
I meant like
no,
the
it's,
He called it a
easy
garbage
categories.
category.
I
to be
mean,
fair to us,
but-
like knowing the United States' geography is knowing more than Europe's geography. It is bigger.
That's right.
technically.
Hear that, Europeans? We're bigger.
I'm not
There
saying
we
that that's a benefit
Feel
at all.
bad.
I actually, like, it'd be great if I lived in a place where I didn't have to drive 8 hours to get out of that place, and even if that place were France. But
How did we get here from New Year's resolutions?
I don't
they're
know,
all
Our
somebody-
New
garbage,
Year's resolution
like the
is
Bible.
to be on a game show.
The Bible isn't garbage. The Bible categories.
no, we have this on
Okay.
on
The
audio
Bible
now.
categories in Jeopardy, like, they're so easy. They're like not even hard Bible questions. It's just like,
Give me an easy
what
Bible
is
question.
what is the first book of the New Testament?
It's
Mark.
Or like name that one
numbers.
really old
Numbers,
guy.
numbers.
Or like who is the brother of Moses? Or like whatever.
Deuteronomy.
It's
Joshua
like,
judges
this
Ruth.
character speaks in red text.
That's
The official name for that is rubrication.
Is that
I know that
Paul?
from my medieval
Paul.
studies
It's
for
Paul.
kids.
Is it
always-
Paul?
All right, all right, all
Is it
right.
Paul speaks in red?
No, get off me. Okay. All right. So, anyways,
Actually, wait,
New Year's
no.
Eve sucks. It's
I have an
always
interesting
sad.
Bible thing.
Oh, I'm telling you an interesting Bible thing.
It's not that interesting, and it's definitely controversial. But I picked up like the newest new version Bible.
Uh-huh.
Like
The newest,
The
new
newest-
version
It was
ever.
like-
There's
It
like
was
3 of these
like-
come out a year. They're great.
so to be fair, it was the newest new version like 4 years ago. So I don't
Right.
know what's newer, but it was called like I don't know. It was called New Version or something. And it was made for teenagers or something like
This is
that.
like the message, like the
No, the
word,
message
yo.
is
It was
old now.
it was I don't know, but I was reading through Genesis, the best book.
Yeah, that's where you start.
And the creation of Adam and Eve is totally different. They were like created together at the same time in this one. And it doesn't go into any detail. It just says, and then there was Adam and Eve, and that's it.
Well,
That's all
there's
of
like
it.
the Genesis does the human creation story twice.
It creates the
Yeah.
word
There's
twice,
the-
which is always a problem.
Well, it's
like,
just
but the-
just the very first one because I think it's like a kid. I think it's like kids or teens or something. So it's
Right.
like
It's just
it just
simplified.
starts. Yeah, it's just like Adam and Eve are there. Stop asking questions,
We
damn
had
it. Just there already.
Catholicism has the catechism, right? Which is like an official, like frequently asked questions about Catholicism. It's like, so you have like, what do you need to answer about the Catholic faith? It's in the catechism, and it's not necessarily a binding answer, but it's like a more or less official one.
Yeah.
So at St. Anthony, we had the UCAT, the Youth Catechism,
I own that.
which is like, you know, how to talk to, how people think you should talk to 14-year-olds about things like, do Muslims go to heaven?
Have I told y'all about Lilith yet?
So, that is unfortunately time. So, for our wrap up, today is Ian. Ian, summarize this entire episode in one sentence.
Beans.
Wow,
You
beautifully
heard it
put.
here first, guys. Everybody say goodnight to our Patreons.
Patreon.
Good night to our Patreons.
Good night,
Thanks, guys.
Patreon.
Good night.